Hey, good morning, guys. With the coffee, and we're outside in the garden. Now, first off, I want to say I'm sorry for any background noise. They're doing some tree trimming across the street, and yeah, hopefully they finish up quickly. Now, today it is Wednesday, June 4th, day that I will hopefully be uploading this video, and I will give you a garden tour. I want to show you everything that's planted out, and we're going to show you what's been going on. So, I planted out the last few things on Sunday, June 1st. I did it early in the morning, and then I was busy in the house, in the kitchen, finishing to cook for Shavuos, which started Sunday at sundown and finished last night, Tuesday at sundown. So, whatever I planted on Sunday, that's how the garden will be now for the next little while until things start producing, and maybe then I'll decide to change it. Whatever. This is what it is now. So it worked out perfectly that all the plants had 2 days to adjust to their new environments. And now I will show you around everything. We have all 9 beds filled, and I will show you. There's something that I want to show you specifically. Let me turn around. You'll see what I mean. Okay, so we came to the far corner bed. Oh, sorry. See, my house is over there. We have the 3 beds over there, and we have the 3 beds going that way. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then go back there. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. And we're going to finish by that corner up there. So, you guys saw me plant out our tomatoes over here, and our tomato plants were bigger than this. The day that I planted these, I don't remember if I told you, but a deer came in and ate the first 4 plants over here. So that very day, we started working on our fencing, and it is taking a lot of effort. It's a very hard work because our soil over here our ground is very rocky. So it's very hard to dig and to do stuff. So, and from when we started working on the fencing, it's been raining, very rainy. Like we had 1 clear day in the entire week. So it's slow progress, but we're getting there. And so far, the deer have not come back in. So on Sunday, I went to the nursery and I bought the tomatoes to replace over here. Now our basil, you can see it's very yellow. It's not doing the best. I might have to start new ones, or I'm going to pull it and maybe put some flowers. We'll see. Now we have a lot of weeds popping up, so we can pull those as well, but we'll do that a different day. This is our eggplant here. That's a tomato. That's a basil. This one here is parsley. So when I went to the store and I got the tomatoes, I also got some parsley because I would love to have parsley in my pantry from the garden that I will dehydrate. So what I want you to note is, look at this celery. I have here 1, 2, 3, 4 celery. And look at this and keep this in mind for later on when we get to the second spot that I planted celery. And you'll see the celery on this end of the bed looks the same as the celery on that end, which I'll show you in a minute. But let me come around here and I'll show you the variety of tomato that we planted over here. Now, when I started my tomatoes, I started 3 different type of heirloom tomatoes to plant right over here. Unfortunately, because the deer ate it, I do not have the variety that I wanted, and I had to get whatever the store had, and they sold them in a tray of 3. So the 3 tomato plants over here are Brandywine heirloom tomato. They should be 8 to 16 ounces big. So they're pretty decent sized tomato, and hopefully we'll enjoy it. It's not what I wanted because I was gonna have, which one was this? A red potato Brandywine, and I was gonna have a I'm pulling up over here. Tomato, a Wisconsin tomato. So, and another Wisconsin, which unfortunately the deer enjoyed. Now next up over here, you can see I put the support in. That's a squash. That's going to be a zucchini. We have another one of our brandywines. None of our brandywines are. What was it called? Yeah, brandywine. Okay. This over here is, what flower did I plant here? I forgot what this flower is called, but I planted over here and over here. Let me see. They're coming up. Let me try to remember. I don't know. But it's a flower that will help the pests that come for the tomatoes. Now this tomato plant over here, I forgot when I was at the nursery, but the deer had also eaten up. It's growing on the side, but it's not growing up in height. So I might have to go to the store, go back to the nursery and buy another one to plant over here. But we'll see about that. Now over here we have another parsley. We have three more celeries over here. 1, 2, 3. We have the eggplant in the corner, parsley. Now this is a tomato that I did start. And this is a tomato sweet pea. And it's growing and it's flowering. And I have to clip it a little bit higher for support. This one over here is also tomato sweet pea, which is mini cherry tomatoes. And we're waiting for it to adjust to its environment. Now, this bed is a new bed. It has completely new soil. And I am thinking, and you'll understand my thinking later on, that I might need to add some nutrients to this bed and any of the new beds. So I feel like the plants that I've started from seed, they're sprouting, but they're taking very long to start growing. And the reason why I told you to look at the celery is you'll see I put 2 of them in an old bed and they are flourishing. So I'm thinking that there's a lack of nutrients in this soil. I might have to add some nutrients. We're gonna have to do a soil test, but that will be in a different video because it takes a couple days. Over here I put in rosemary, also on Sunday, because I had rosemary last year and it didn't overwinter. And I am hoping that if it's in the bed, it'll overwinter, and once it's bigger, I'll be able to transfer it. I have mentioned to you guys that between where the garden landscape fabric finishes and the fence on that end, I want to have some perennials and some herbs. So if this rosemary overwinters this year, I will transplant it over there next year. Okay, so this is for this bed. Now, in this bed over here, first of all, we installed the hoop coop, or whatever it's called. We just took some PVC pipes and we pushed it into the soil. My husband screwed it into the wood. He created the hoop. Then we put one for the entire length. And I bought this mesh fabric that is for insect protection, and we put this on. Now this was installed only a couple days ago. Yeah, we did it on Sunday after I planted these things. Now I did plant these out with plants that I had started. I had started cabbage, I had started kale, I had started broccoli, and I did put in some cauliflower, but it never sprouted. They were doing beautifully, but I hadn't yet installed the hoops and the insect netting. And if you're here from last year, you know that we have a ground dog living on our property. And I was excited that I hadn't seen it yet this year. But he came out here one day and he ate all of this. So when I went to the nursery, I got this as well. So back here we have 4 cabbages. We have 4 kale, we have 4 broccolini, and then we put in 2 more cabbages because the cabbages that I bought, they all had more than one plant per. They all had one. They all had more than one plant per section in the pot. So I just thinned them out. I put 4 over there, and I put 2 on this end. So this is for this bed. And we did get clamps to hold down the ends over here. We just didn't have time on Sunday yet to do this. So maybe later today I will come out here with my husband, and we have a couple more things to do here, and including cleanup, because we still have a lot of things laying around from completing our garden. Now, next thing, which I don't think you guys have seen yet, is the arch trellis, which we have installed finally. So in this bed over here we have, these are called sweet pea. They are going to grow a pea, but like I've mentioned to you guys a few times already, I am planting them for their flowers. They're going to have gorgeous purple flowers, and this is what happens. They're going to twirl around, hold on, and they're going to grow up the entire trellis, hopefully. And now when the ground duck came, it also ate over here some of these. I'm going to give it a few more days. If I see that it doesn't grow more, then I'll pull these and I'll put in new ones, and hopefully it'll still produce something before the end of the season. Now you can see back there we have some radishes, and this is another reason why I'm thinking that I need to add nutrients to the soil, because these have been here for way longer than they should, and they're just barely sprouts. They didn't grow into any size or anything. So another suspicion that this needs more nutrients. Could also be that I wasn't good about coming out to water this, because when I started these, I didn't have much going on in the garden yet. Could be it's that, but again, you'll see a pattern throughout the new beds. Now over here I came out a few days ago and we started some chickpeas, which is sprouting. So we have the rest of the bed going down over there, almost till the end, till that white tag over there. This is 2 rows of chickpeas. I love chickpeas. I'm always making hummus, and I'm excited to have my own homegrown chickpeas, hopefully. Now this end over here, I had used up my entire package of chickpeas. When I came to this end, I was like, I don't want to leave this empty, so I put in some navy beans, which is sprouting as well. We've got some sprouts over here. Over here I did start a butternut squash. Nothing's come up yet. And over here we have a spaghetti squash. And again, it didn't come up yet. But I know that these things can take a little bit more time to sprout. Over here we got a watermelon, and it's sprouting. And like I said before, with all these beds, I feel like it needs nutrients. So we'll come out, do a soil test, to see what needs to be added to give this, well, to give all my 9 beds the best possibility of growth and production possible. And can you imagine this trellis just filling up with these sweet peas? It's gonna be beautiful. Okay. Now in here I got a new mint plant because my mint didn't overwinter. And this I am torn because I'm debating if I should not harvest anything this year, because maybe I over harvested last year and that's why it's not growing back. Maybe it's because it's in such a small pot. But mint is not something that I want to put in my beds because it grows from the root, and it tends to take over. And it's not something that I would want to put into my landscape either, because I don't want it to take over. So I'm a little bit torn about what to do with this. So we'll decide over the summer what we're going to do with this. And you can see over here I have a bunch of pots from last year that's just growing weeds because nothing grew back in it. That's chives, which I had harvested, and we made a butterboard for Shavuos. We used the chives from there. It was delicious. Now, this side of the trellis we have a loofah. This plant over here, it's struggling a bit, but we're hopeful that it's gonna grow and produce something. I'll show you when we come back around. I'm gonna go up the bed, come back down, and I'll show you what's been going on over there. But over here I did start some dill, and it's finally sprouting and starting to produce. And we have tons of weeds that we gotta pull. Well, I'll do that another day. And look at this. This is our other celery. Now, do you remember what the celery in that bed looks like? I will pop it on the screen for you over here. But to compare, this bed has nutrients from last year. It's doing great. It's growing, it's green, it's vibrant, So yeah, this just makes my point stronger that I need to do a soil test in those new beds, figure out what's going on, and add the nutrients that it needs. This over here is some scallions. I need to come out and trim some of it. Doing great. We love scallions. We couldn't get enough of it last year, and I think I will start even more. I can still start it, and we'll have a lot more going this year. Over here we've got another squash, and you can see also this one is bigger and has more leaves already than the one in the new bed. So again, my same point. Over here we have our garlic. It's growing so nice and big and tall. The stalks are getting nice and thick, and this directly correlates with the size of the head. Like this one over here is very thin. This one will probably be a tiny little head, versus this one, which is way bigger, will be a bigger head. So we're waiting for these to produce scapes. I think it's the one on that bed though that will produce scapes, but whatever it is, we're waiting for them to grow scapes. We're waiting for the leaves to dry out, and we'll be able to harvest probably in, like, I'm guesstimating about 6 to 8 weeks, but it's the first year that I'm doing this, so I have no clue. And there's tons and tons of weeds in here. So many. Oh my god, this is a big one. Let me get this one. It's really big. Wow. Okay, now this end we did not put up our arch yet because that bed was filled last week Friday. So we didn't have a chance to install the arch trellis yet. But you can see over here we have the T-post over here already. And we're going to have an arch trellis going from this side to that bed. And we're going to have cucumbers on both ends. And I'm looking forward to making a bunch of homemade pickles this year. This is our lavender. And it is taking some time, but it's slowly coming back to life. And it smells heavenly. Over here we got another chive plant that thankfully came back. But again, this is a mint. That's a lemon thyme. And it didn't come back. So I might just spill these pots and save them for next year, and we'll plant some stuff in it next year. No, now we said we're going to go to this one. This bed also has an arch trellis over here. And we're going to have, I don't remember which side, but one side has green beans, one side has snap peas. So I'm not sure which one is which. But they're growing nicely. Over here, they're getting taller, and they're gonna hopefully climb up and over and fill up with green beans or snap peas. Okay, I'm editing the video already, and I realized I forgot to show you guys the end of this bed. I'm sorry, they're still not done with cutting the trees, so there's still a lot of background noise. But this is another one of our zucchini plants, and they are getting so nice and big. And we did put in our support already, because last year when we were harvesting we figured that having them with support will be a lot easier to harvest. So we're going to do that with all of our zucchini plants. And the reason why I came back out is this loofah plant. So this one is growing nicely, nice and big and tall. We have some buds on here already. Now, for some reason, I was trying one day to like help it climb up, and the stem just broke. So I'm hoping that it's still gonna continue growing. And if not, it's fine. I grew it as an experiment anyways. We couldn't try again next year. But I'm hoping that it'll continue growing and it'll fill up the trellis on this side as well. Now, back to the previous video, and I'm going to show you the rest of our garlics. Now this bed is completely garlic the rest of the way through. I came out here last week and I planted a bunch of beans in here. I have our remaining navy beans, I have some kidney beans, and they are sprouting. This green over here, see that? This over here. So we have a bunch of beans that will be growing over here. Once the garlic is harvested, this will add back nutrients to the soil, and because the garlic is going to be harvested in 6 to 8 weeks, it'll give time for the beans to start and then to grow up, and then the end of the season they'll dry out and we'll be able to have dry beans. So I think I planted just over here between these two rows, and then I planted over here on the edge, and inside over here I did beans. And you can see over here more sprouting. See over here, you see some green. And over there, those are all going to be beans, drying beans. Now, oh, here's my coffee. Okay. Now, for this bed over here, this is the best angle for it. We have onions, carrots, onions, and we have some carrots coming up over here as well. Again, there's also tons of weeds, like all this green over here is mostly weeds. I have to come and get them out. But like this one over here is a carrot. So I have to go thin out, get rid of all the weeds so that we just have onion, carrots, onion, carrots. And when our groundhog came in, he also ate 3 tomatoes from here, which I also, when I went to the nursery, I got some new ones. And the basil over here, you can see, is also doing better than it is doing in the other bed. So the tomatoes over here, it was also a 3-pack. So, and this one is a super sweet 100. Which is a cherry tomato. I had them growing last year, and I love making our pizza sauce with it. And this is one of the pots that they came in. They had 3 in them. And you can see over here, our basil is doing so much better than it did in the other bed. Our parsley over here that overwintered, it came back from last year. This, I harvested some for Shavuos, and I'm thinking the rest of what I have in the house, and I'm gonna come back and trim this. I want to dehydrate and make parsley flakes to have for whenever I cook. I want to go back around. I want to show you something on the other side of the bed. No, nothing over here. So over here we started some lettuce seeds because we didn't have an onion growing here, and they're slowly starting to grow. I'm excited to be able to harvest these and have some fresh salad. This tomato over here, these 3 actually are San Marzano. So these are paste tomatoes. They are meant to make tomato sauces and crushed tomatoes and all the tomato things that I want to make in can. These are the ideal tomatoes to do it with. So I want to try them, see how we like it. And if we don't, then I can always try a different tomato. Now these don't have any tomatoes here yet, but this one over here it has fruit already on it, which is super exciting. This one, I don't think has anything yet on it either. But this one bed is doing super, super good. Now with our old beds, this is the only bed that is fully planted out with stuff that I did recently. This one is mostly garlic. That one is half garlic. And that's why it was hard to tell at first that my new beds might be lacking nutrients. But once I planted out the stuff over there, and especially because I did the celery, and I know that the celery from that bed is not doing so good, that is why. So, yeah, I know I keep repeating the same thing over and over, but it just to make my point stronger that I really need to do something about it. This bed is not all tomato, or not all peppers, but what I did was over here, I started a couple more zucchini plants. We did 1 and 2. Over here I got some more basil, so I planted them, but they were kind of not doing good in the pots anymore because it took us a while to fill up this bed and get our peppers planted. My goal was to put this in with the peppers, but we'll see how they do because they were in the pot way longer than they should have been. Now we got some peppers over here. This is a ghost pepper. And these are the peppers that I had done in a 4-section pot instead of individual the 5-inch pots, because I was starting them as a just in case. If my peppers don't do good, I should still have something. But when it came to filling up this bed, I decided that I am going to plant these anyways because I have the space. So they're smaller, but I'm still hopeful that it's gonna start growing and producing nicely. So over here I have a yellow pepper and I have 2 red peppers, and I had another eggplant, so I decided to put that in here. Now down the length over here in the center, whoa, oh my goodness, I almost tripped. Down the length in the center I planted sunflowers. They are supposed to grow about 12 feet tall. I was gonna plant them in the edge over there by the fence, but because our fencing is not quite done yet and it still needs work over there, and I don't know when it's going to be done, and I really wanted to have those sunflowers because those are the sunflowers that we can roast the seeds to have sunflowers to snack on, sunflower seeds to snack on, and I really wanted to have that. So I decided to plant it over here, and we're waiting for that to sprout. And I also sprinkled a bunch of lettuce seeds over here between the pepper plants as well to fill up any empty soil. So again, we're waiting for those to sprout as well. So down the length over here, I have in the beginning of the bed, this end of the bed, I have sweet peppers, and then we're going to go into the spicy peppers. This is a yellow pepper, a red pepper, and another red pepper that actually has a pepper growing, which is super exciting because in all my years growing peppers, which massive experience that I have growing peppers, this is the 3rd year. And the first 2 years when I planted my peppers, I did not start them indoors myself. I bought them in the nursery. When I bought them, before I planted them, I would pinch the top over here, and because supposedly it forces the plant to produce more. Unfortunately, it took a very long time for my peppers to start producing, and it didn't produce very well. From my research that I did over the winter, that is a good idea for people that have long extended summers. So for people more in the south than me. I am up north, I'm in New York State, and I don't have a very long summer season. So I decided this year I'm not going to pinch it, and we'll see what happens. And it's already producing. So hopefully, and you'll see there's more plants that are producing as well. So hopefully this year we'll get a nice harvest of peppers. Now over here, this is a new thing here. I didn't see this yesterday, but the flower just fell, and I could see a teeny tiny pepper in there. I don't know if you guys can see it. This is a habanero plant. This is a cayenne pepper, which is starting to flower and produce up here. There's no peppers yet to show you. This is a ghost pepper. And look at this jalapeno pepper plant. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's more coming. So this is so comforting, so encouraging that the not pinching it is what will hopefully work for me. This habanero plant, for some reason, did not do very well in the pot when it was growing indoors, but I'm hoping that by transplanting it, it'll start producing, it'll grow and thrive. And again, I have to make sure that I give it the proper nutrients that it needs. And this over here, oh, this is not a spicy one. This is an orange pepper. Gotta stake it a little bit better because it's falling over. Now, over to this bed. So like I said, this is either green beans or snap peas. I do not remember which one it is. Over here, we have a bunch of sprouts of sage. Over here, the green over here and the green over there is sage. Over here, not this one. Over here we got some baby's breath, which is popping up, which I'm very excited for as a vase fillers. We got our zinnias, which we've got some beautiful colors this year. Look at this bright orange. That one starts off as like a sunset orange and it goes to yellow, I think. That's like a salmon. And this one is like a purple pink that we had last year. I'm very excited about these colors. This is yellow aster, which did not produce any flowers yet. These are, this over here, the sprouts are cosmos. This one here, that one over there is a cosmo. Our eucalyptus, it's adjusting nicely. It's taking some time and it should take some time, but it's adjusting nicely. This is our snapdragon, which it took some time to adjust to the soil and to start growing up straight because they were very flimsy. They needed the support and they're doing good, and I'll show you that when I come back around. These are dahlias, which I also put some support in them, and they're starting to flourish. Over here we have some more sunflowers. These are shorter sunflowers, and these I tried roasting last year, the sunflower seeds. Well, they were teeny tiny, but this can be, maybe I can give it for the birds to snack on. We'll see. And over here I'm going to show you the snapdragon again. Look at this, it's starting to produce flower. Super excited about that. Now this bed was going to be strawberries, and I decided ultimately not to do it for multiple reasons. A, the bed wasn't filled early enough to be able to fill it, and B, according to my research, I decided to rather not do it in a bed. I have a different idea, which hopefully we will get to incorporate next year. So we scratched the strawberries for this year, and when I was in the nursery I was looking around seeing what else they have to fill up this entire bed with. I was gonna maybe plant a bunch of different things, but whatever like interested me over there I already had here in the garden that I started myself. So I decided that I'm gonna do another pepper bed, because if they produce well then I can freeze it, and it's a lot of spicy peppers which I can dehydrate and make spices out of it, or I want to try making hot sauce with it. So we'll see how this goes. So let me just show you around what peppers I have. This is a Scotch bonnet, and these will not start flowering for another few days, I believe, or weeks, because these were not started by me. They did not flower yet by the time I got it in the store. The ones that I started were already flowering in the pots, so that's why it's producing already. But this is a really spicy one, is 100K to 350K Scoville score, and my family loves spicy, so we'll try this out. The next three, just like the tomatoes, these came in, a lot of them came in packs of 3. These 3 over here are a Caribbean Red Hat, which is this extreme heat, and it has a 445,000 Scoville heat. And this is going to be 1-inch fruit shriveled up like that. The next 3 peppers are Carolina Reaper. Now, I did start a Carolina Reaper myself. It struggled. It didn't germinate. I started it again, and I put it under my light too soon, my grow light, and it burnt. And at that point, it was very late to start a new one. So I figured if I fill up a bed and I don't need it, I'm okay. But since I decided to do this entire bed with it as well, and I found this in the nursery, I decided to go ahead and plant this as well. This one is 2,200,000 Scoville heat. So this is extreme heat. But I think that my family will be happy to try it. And I have some friends and family that would enjoy it as well, not just my immediate family. Here we have some Tabasco, which is just a hot pepper. Just a hot pepper, it's 40,000, but according to the ghost pepper, it's just hot. So this one, we can make some Tabasco sauce with it, maybe. And then over here, we're gonna have our cucumbers going over the arch, which will come to that bed. On this side, I think this side is actually all sweet peppers. So it's the same pattern, three sets of 3. So this is an early red sweet bell pepper. And over here we have the California Wonder green bell pepper. I've heard very good things about the California Wonder. So when I saw it, I was like, you know what, it's a great opportunity to try it. This is a sweet banana, so it's like a snacking pepper, which it shows that it has different colors. So I'm hoping that we got different, it all depends on the seed that was planted. So I'm hoping that we get different colors here. And I see that these ones are starting to flower and bud. So that's exciting. And the last one here is a spicy one. And this is a golden cayenne. I know that I have cayenne pepper, but I figured it'll be fun to have a different color to play with. And it'll affect the cayenne pepper that I would make with it, or any dishes that I make with the cayenne peppers itself. We can play around and have some fun with this. So, let me show you guys. The fencing. We started in that corner. Over there we're going to have a door so that we can access our garden shed. Ooh, the noise is going down. I don't have to yell anymore. We went all the way around over there. We came up here. Over here we're having another door. And at this point we ran out of wood. We ran out of cement. So we had to go buy more. And we have to finish it up on this side. And we have to finish up this side over here. And my husband already put up the fencing over there, which, let me show you the material that we're using. It's like this metal, tiny, it's a 1/4 inch, I think, grid. And this is supposed to help prevent the ground ducks from being able to dig under and coming in. They shouldn't fit through the grid. That's the whole point. And once we're done with this part of the fencing, we're just going to put some support posts. Every few posts, we're going to put tall ones, and we're going to put 8-foot just plastic fencing for the deer so they can't jump over. And then my husband wants to do string lights, so that's why we have some of the taller ones also, and in the corners. And we're gonna probably put like string lights going around the entire thing. Once that is done, we will remove, you see all the grass and weeds coming up over here, and this will be wood chipped, which we already have the wood chip or mulch, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to put in our perennial flowers here and our herbs in here. And then I need to get a new water gauge. I loved having this last year, but I left it out over winter and the bottom of it cracked, so as soon as it starts raining, everything just runs out. I do have a bird bath, which I'm excited to have out here. And this is our third arch trellis for the cucumbers. And we do have a bird feeder out here, which I enjoyed having last year, and I'm excited to have one this year with a camera so it can detect what type of birds it is. And I'm excited to learn about the birds. So now let me go find my coffee again. And I want to thank you guys if you made it this far out into the video. I am excited to have you here and to show you around the garden as it's producing and as it's growing and as we harvest and preserve later on in the season. So if you want to see all that, hit the subscribe button, and I hope to see you in the next one.